Chosen one, stop scrolling. This is not just another video. This is a message meant to find you. There is something you've been feeling lately. A pressure, a weight, a silent voice telling you to quit, to walk away, to abandon the path you once believed in. But what if I told you that voice is not yours? What if I told you, right now, in this very moment, there is a spiritual battle happening over your destiny? And the reason it feels so hard is because you were never meant to have an easy mission. You were chosen for something bigger, something rare, something most people would never survive. And today, God is saying one thing to you. Do not give up, because the moment you feel like quitting is the exact moment you're closest to breaking through. The weight you've been carrying, you've been tired, not just physically, but spiritually drained. It feels like no matter how much effort you put in, things keep falling apart. People misunderstand you. Doors close for no reason. And deep down, you've questioned everything. Why me? Why is this so hard? Why does it feel like I'm fighting alone? But what you don't realize is, you were never carrying an ordinary burden. You were carrying a divine assignment. And not everyone is built to carry what you carry. The silent calling within you. From a young age, you felt different. You saw things others didn't see. You felt emotions deeper than others could understand. You questioned things people blindly accepted. And maybe you tried to fit in. You tried to silence that voice inside you. You tried to be normal. But it never worked. Because your soul remembers something your mind is still trying to understand. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to awaken. Why the mission feels impossible. Let me tell you something real. If your mission was easy, it wouldn't be divine. The reason it feels heavy is because it carries purpose. The reason it feels lonely is because not everyone can walk this path. And the reason you feel like giving up is because something doesn't want you to succeed. There are forces, seen and unseen, that benefit from you staying small, from you staying quiet, from you giving up. Because the moment you rise, everything changes. The isolation phase. One of the hardest parts of being chosen is the isolation. People you once loved start to drift away. Connections break. Energy shifts. And suddenly, you feel alone. But this is not punishment. This is preparation. Because God will remove distractions before revealing your true direction. You are not being abandoned. You are being aligned. The spiritual warfare you can't see. There are battles you're fighting that you can't even explain. Negative thoughts that don't feel like yours. Doubts that appear out of nowhere. Fear that tries to paralyze you. And sometimes, it feels overwhelming. But understand this. Not every thought in your mind belongs to you. Some are planted to make you question your path, to make you doubt your power, to make you quit right before you win. The reason you can't give up. Listen carefully. You don't have the luxury of giving up. Because this mission was not randomly given to you. It was assigned. Before you were even born, there was something placed inside you. A purpose, a calling, a fire. And even when you try to ignore it, it keeps coming back. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. The signs you are close to breakthrough. Things feel chaotic right now. uncertain, confusing, unstable. But that's exactly how transformation begins. Right before a breakthrough, everything starts to shake. Old patterns break. Old versions of you collapse. And it feels like you're losing control. But in reality, you're stepping into alignment. The enemy wants you to quit now. Notice when the urge to give up hits hardest. It's not at the beginning. It's not when things are calm. It's when you're close, when you're evolving, when you're growing, when you're stepping into your power. That's when resistance shows up the most. Because quitting now would erase everything you fought for. And deep down, you know you didn't come this far just to stop here. God is watching your persistence. Every struggle you've endured, every tear you've cried, every moment you kept going, even when you felt like breaking. It's all seen. Nothing is wasted. There is a reason your story is unfolding like this. There is a reason you've survived what others couldn't. Because your strength is part of your purpose. This is bigger than you. Your mission is not just about you. It's about the people you will inspire, the lives you will change, the impact you will leave behind. There are people waiting for someone like you, someone who understands their pain, someone who has walked through darkness and made it out. And if you give up now, they may never find that light. That's how important your journey is. You were built for this. Let's be honest. Not everyone could handle what you've been through. Most people would have quit already. Most people would have given in. But you didn't. You're still here. Still fighting. Still searching. Still believing even when it's hard. That's not weakness. That's proof. Proof that you were built for this path. This is your awakening moment. Right now, you have a choice. You can listen to fear, or you can listen to purpose. You can walk away, or you can rise. Because this moment is defining you. This is where many quit. But this is also where the chosen rise. The shift is already happening. Even if you don't see it yet. Things are moving. Energy is shifting. Doors are preparing to open. And everything you've been through is about to make sense. But only if you stay. Only if you trust. Only if you refuse to give up. God's final message to you. If you've made it this far, this message was for you. Not by accident. Not by coincidence. But by design. And God is saying this clearly. I chose you because you could handle it. I tested you because I trust you. And I didn't bring you this far just to leave you here. If this message hit your soul, don't ignore it. This is your confirmation. Type "I will not give up" in the comments if you're still standing, still fighting, still chosen. And if you're ready to fully step into your purpose, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Chosen Wave, and stay connected. Because this journey, you're not walking it alone anymore. Tell me in the comments, what is the one thing you refuse to give up on, no matter how hard it gets? The moment everything tests you, there comes a moment in every chosen one's journey where everything goes silent. No signs, no confirmations, no clear direction. Just you and the weight of your thoughts. This is the moment most people misinterpret. They think God left me. They think maybe I was wrong. They think maybe this path isn't for me. But this silence is not absence. It's elevation. Because God will test your faith in silence before rewarding your obedience in the light. When doubt feels louder than faith, let's be real. There are nights when doubt screams louder than belief. When your mind starts creating scenarios, convincing you that you're wasting your time, that nothing will change, that you should just settle. And for a moment, you almost believe it. But then something inside you refuses to fully agree. That small voice, that quiet resistance, that's your soul reminding you, you're not here to live an ordinary life. You're here to fulfill something greater. The breaking point before the breakthrough. Every chosen one reaches this point. The breaking point, where you feel like you've given everything, and still it doesn't feel like enough. You question your strength. You question your path. You question if you even have what it takes. But here's the truth nobody tells you. The breaking point is actually the building point. Because what's breaking is not you. It's the old version of you. The one that doubted. The one that feared. The one that played small. And once that version collapses, there's no going back. Why you feel misunderstood? Have you noticed? No matter how much you try to explain yourself, people just don't get you. They misread your intentions. They question your choices. They judge your silence. And sometimes, it makes you feel isolated, like you don't belong anywhere. But that feeling is not a flaw. It's a sign. Because chosen ones are not meant to be understood by everyone. You operate on a different frequency, and not everyone is tuned to receive it. The hidden strength within you. You don't even realize how strong you've become. Think about everything you've faced. The betrayals, the disappointments, the moments you thought you wouldn't survive. And yet, you're still here, still standing, still searching for meaning. That's not normal strength. That's divine resilience. That's what happens when God builds someone for a mission. The temptation to walk away. Right now, there's a part of you that just wants peace. No more struggle. No more pressure. No more fighting invisible battles. Just a simple, quiet life. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that. But understand this. You weren't designed for average. You weren't created to just exist. You were created to impact. And walking away now would mean abandoning something your soul agreed to long ago. The signs are not random. Think about all the moments where something felt too perfectly timed. A message when you needed it most. A realization that shifted everything. A feeling you couldn't explain but couldn't ignore. Those weren't coincidences. Those were alignments. Little reminders that you are being guided, even when you feel lost, even when you feel unsure. There is something watching over your journey, why your path looks different. You've probably compared your life to others, seen people moving faster, achieving things earlier, living what looks like an easier life. And you've wondered, why is my path so different? But what you don't see is that your path is deeper, more intense, more transformative. Because average paths create average stories. But your journey is being shaped into something powerful. The fire that won't go out. No matter how tired you get. No matter how many times you feel like quitting. There's something inside you that refuses to die. A fire. It may get quiet sometimes. It may feel small. but it never fully disappears. That fire is your purpose, and as long as it's still there, your mission is not over. You're closer than you think. Right now, it may feel like you're far from where you want to be, like you've been walking forever, with no destination in sight. But what if you're actually closer than you think? What if everything you've been going through has been preparing you for a moment that's about to change everything? Because sometimes the hardest part of the journey is right before the breakthrough, the choice that defines you. At the end of all this, it comes down to one thing: a choice. Do you give in, or do you rise? Do you listen to fear, or do you trust your calling? Because being chosen is not just about receiving a mission. It's about accepting it over and over again, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when no one else understands. The moment you realize you can't go back, there's a shift that happens. Quiet, subtle, but permanent. One day you wake up, and the things that once satisfied you don't anymore. The conversations feel empty. The environments feel heavy. The version of you that used to fit in feels like a stranger. And that's when it hits you. You've outgrown a life you once prayed for. Not because it was wrong, but because you've evolved. And once you see differently, you can never go back to seeing the same. Why people start resisting you. Have you noticed? As you change, people start acting different. Some become distant. Some become cold. Some even turn against you for no clear reason. And it confuses you. Because you're not trying to hurt anyone. You're just growing. But growth makes people uncomfortable, especially those who benefited from the old version of you. Your silence threatens them. Your awareness exposes them. Your strength reminds them of what they're avoiding. So they resist you, not because you're wrong, but because you're changing. The loneliness that teaches you everything. There's a loneliness that doesn't come from being alone. It comes from being misunderstood, from feeling like no one truly sees you or understands what you're going through. And in those moments, it feels heavy. But this loneliness is actually a teacher, because it forces you to meet yourself, to understand yourself, to rely on yourself, to strengthen your connection with something higher. And in that space, you discover who you really are. The inner voice getting stronger. Have you noticed? That voice inside you is getting louder. Not the voice of fear, but the voice of knowing. The one that guides you. The one that warns you. The one that tells you when something isn't right. At first, it was easy to ignore. But now, it's becoming impossible. Because that voice is your alignment. It's the part of you that's connected to your purpose. And the more you listen to it, the clearer your path becomes. Why everything had to fall apart. You've lost things. People, opportunities, stability. And at times, it felt unfair. Like everything you built was being taken away from you. But what if it wasn't being taken? It was being cleared. Because sometimes, what feels like destruction is actually divine redirection. Things fall apart, so better things can fall into place. But only if you're willing to let go. The pressure to become who you're meant to be. Right now, you feel pressure, not from the outside, but from within, like something is pushing you to step up, to level up, to become more. And it's uncomfortable, because growth always is. But that pressure is not there to break you. It's there to shape you into the person your mission requires you to be. The truth about your delays: you've been waiting for the right moment, for the right opportunity, for things to finally make sense. And sometimes it feels like you've been delayed, like you're behind. But here's the truth: you're not delayed. You're being prepared. Because if things had happened earlier, you wouldn't have been ready. And what's coming next requires a version of you that only pressure could create. The energy shift you can feel, showing up even when you don't feel like it, continuing even when it's hard, believing even when there's no evidence. Because your mission will test your consistency. It will test your patience. It will test your faith. And only those who stay committed get to see what's on the other side. The life you're leaving behind. There's a version of your life that's slowly fading away. Old habits, old mindsets, old environments. And sometimes you feel nostalgic. You miss the simplicity. You miss the familiarity. But deep down, you know you've outgrown it. Because that life was never meant to be permanent. It was preparation. The calling that won't let you rest. No matter how much you try, you can't ignore it. That feeling, that pull, that quiet knowing that you're meant for more. It doesn't go away. It follows you through distractions, through doubts, through delays, because it's not external. It's within you. And until you fully step into it, it will keep calling your name. The version of you that no longer settles. There was a time when you tolerated things you shouldn't have. Disrespect, confusion, situations that drained your energy. You stayed longer than you needed to. You gave more than you received. But now, something inside you has changed. You don't argue the same. You don't chase the same. You don't tolerate the same. Because you've realized peace is more valuable than attention. And protecting your energy is no longer optional, it's necessary. While you're becoming more selective, you've started to notice not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your time, your energy, your presence. And it's not arrogance, it's awareness. You've learned the hard way what happens when you give too much to the wrong people. So now, you move differently. You observe more. You trust slowly. You protect what's yours. Because your energy is part of your mission. The calmness that confuses people. Have you noticed? You don't react the same anymore. Things that used to trigger you now don't even move you. And people see that. They expect the old version of you. The one who would argue. The one who would explain. But instead, they get silence. And that silence confuses them. Because they no longer have access to the version of you they were used to. That version is gone. And it's not coming back. The power of walking away. One of the strongest things you've learned is how to walk away. Not out of anger, not out of ego, but out of self-respect. You've realized not every battle is worth fighting. Not every situation deserves your energy. And sometimes, the real power is in choosing yourself. Even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when you still care. The alignment you've been seeking. For so long, you've been searching for clarity, for direction, for purpose. And now, things are starting to align. Slowly but surely, you're understanding yourself more. You're trusting yourself more. You're becoming more grounded. And even though everything isn't perfect, there's a sense of peace you didn't have before. That's alignment. That's what happens when you stop forcing and start trusting. While your standards are rising, you're not asking for too much. You're just no longer accepting too little. And there's a difference. You've experienced what it feels like to be drained, to be undervalued, to be overlooked. So now, you require more honesty, more respect, more alignment. And if something doesn't meet that, you're okay with walking away. Because you've learned, better alone than misaligned. The detachment that feels strained. There's a new feeling within you. Detachment from people. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming clear. Clear about what you deserve. Clear about what you tolerate. Clear about what aligns and what doesn't. And that clarity is changing everything. You're no longer moved by temporary emotions. You're guided by deeper understanding. And that's a different kind of power. The energy you no longer entertain. There are certain energies now you simply cannot be around. Negativity, drama, fake intentions. You feel it instantly. And instead of ignoring it like before, you remove yourself. No explanations. No overthinking. No guilt. Because protecting your peace has become a priority. And anything that threatens that no longer has a place in your life. The silence that speaks for you. You've learned something powerful. Silence is not weakness. It's control. Not everything needs a response. Not everything deserves your words. Sometimes, your silence says more than any explanation ever could. It shows growth. It shows discipline. It shows self-respect. And the people who truly understand you will feel it. The confidence that comes from within. You're not seeking confidence anymore. You're building it from your experiences, from your healing, from everything you've overcome. It's no longer about proving yourself to others. It's about knowing yourself. And that kind of confidence doesn't need validation. It doesn't need approval. It simply exists. Quiet but unshakable. The boundaries you had to learn. Boundaries didn't come easy to you. You had to learn them. Through pain. Through being taken for granted. Through giving too much and receiving too little. But now, you understand. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. Choosing yourself is not selfish. Protecting your energy is necessary. And the more you honor your boundaries, the more your life begins to change. The respect you now demand. You've stopped begging for respect. You've stopped trying to earn it. Because now, you understand something most people do. Respect starts within. The way you carry yourself. The way you speak. The way you walk away from what doesn't serve you. That's what teaches people how to treat you. And now, you're setting a new standard. One that not everyone will meet. And that's okay. The inner peace you've been building. Peace didn't come overnight. You had to fight for it. Through chaos, through confusion, through moments where everything felt uncertain. But slowly, you found it. Not in people, not in situations, but within yourself. And now, you protect it at all costs, because you know what it took to build it. The awareness that changed everything. You see things differently now. Patterns, intentions, energy. You notice what people say and what they don't say. You feel what's real and what's not. And this awareness has changed how you move. You're no longer naive. You're no longer easily influenced. You're intentional. And that intention is guiding your path. The power of choosing yourself. For so long, you chose others over yourself. You put their needs first, their feelings first, their comfort first, even when it cost you your own peace. But now, you've made a decision to choose yourself, not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect, because you've realized you can't pour into others. If you're empty, the life that's waiting for you, there's a life waiting for you on the other side of this. A life where you're aligned, where you're fulfilled, where you're at peace. But it requires something from you. Consistency, faith, courage, because stepping into that life means leaving behind everything that no longer serves you. And that's not easy, but it's necessary. The moment you fully step into your power, there will come a moment where everything clicks. Not perfectly, but clearly. You'll stop questioning your path. You'll stop doubting your worth. You'll stop shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. And in that moment, you'll realize something powerful. You were never lost. You were just becoming stronger, becoming wiser, becoming who you were always meant to be. The fear that no longer controls you. Fear used to stop you, used to make you hesitate, overthink, stay stuck. But now, you see it differently. Fear is no longer a wall. It's a signal, a sign that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, a sign that you're growing, a sign that you're getting closer. And instead of running from it, you walk through it, because you know everything you want exists on the other side of fear. The faith you're learning to trust. Faith is not easy. It's not about seeing everything clearly. It's about moving forward, even when you don't. It's about trusting, even when nothing makes sense. And that's where you are right now. Learning to trust the unseen. Learning to believe in the unknown. Learning to move without guarantees. And that kind of faith changes you. It builds something within you that nothing can shake. The discipline that separates you. Not everyone will make it. Not everyone will stay consistent. Not everyone will keep going when it gets hard. But you're different. You're learning discipline. If this message found you, it wasn't random. It was meant to wake something up inside you. Right now, this is your moment. Not tomorrow, not later. Right now. You've come too far to doubt yourself now. You've survived too much to turn back now. You didn't go through all this pain just to quit at the edge of your purpose. So I need you to do something powerful. Comment, "I am chosen. I will not give up." If you're still standing, still fighting, still committed to your mission, let that be your declaration. Let that be your promise, not just to me, but to yourself. And if you felt this in your soul, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Chosen Wave, and stay connected. Because this journey is not meant to be walked alone anymore. Now tell me this. What is the one mission in your life that you refuse to abandon, no matter how hard it gets?